All right, so we are fast approaching the holidays, and we know that means get-togethers, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the holidays in between, and it can be a big time to binge a lot of food. And as if 2020 hasn't been crazy enough already, with probably binging more than we should, then we've got the holidays coming up. So how do we deal with that? How do we plan for it, prepare for it so that everything isn't blown to bits during that time? Well, that's what I'm talking about in today's episode. So strap in, get ready for episode 187. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. So glad you are here. It is truly an honor to have you here. And for all my return listeners, thank you so much for coming back. It means the world to me that you choose to keep tuning in to this little podcast. All right, so real quick, if you are not a part of our text community, please text the word podcast to 706-222-7551. You can text me anything at that number, questions you have. You can text me episodes you'd like to hear in the future and topics, and I will respond to everything. I do check it only a couple times a week because other times I would be on all the time. So give me a few days, but I will get back to you if you text me there. And again, text the word podcast to 706-222-7551. All right, with that being said, let's dive in. So we are right around the corner from Thanksgiving and Christmas soon after that. And while these holidays may look a bit different than they have in the past, chances are you're still planning on feasting on some good food, right? And that's a good thing. You know, I truly believe that we don't have to be 100% on point all the time because that's not realistic. I like enjoying some good unhealthy meals from time to time. Is it a regular habit? Absolutely not. But once in a while, it's really good just to not worry about your calories, your macros, and just enjoy something. I truly believe that. But I get if you are on a journey, if you're trying to hit a goal, maybe you have a deadline, and you're really worried about the holidays just completely wrecking you and getting you off track. How do you still enjoy food, still, participate with family and friends while not ruining all that? Well, there's several things you can do. So first off, if you know that you're going to a get together or you know that you're going to have a big Thanksgiving meal, plan for it throughout the day. In other words, eat light the morning of. Usually Thanksgiving morning, I don't have much to eat up until Thanksgiving dinner. It's pretty light. It's way under what my normal calories is for, breakfast and lunch. So that way when I go into Thanksgiving dinner, I'm already way, way, way under my calories. So that's the first thing I suggest doing, because let's say my goal for the day is 2,500 calories. And let's say by the time I get to whatever holiday meal it is, I'm already at 1,500. Well, that means I only have 1,000 left to work with, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with going over occasionally. I'm not trying to say never go over or nothing like that. But my point is, if you switch that around and have maybe just a very light smoothie or a snack and you're at 500 calories by the time you go into that Thanksgiving dinner or that Christmas dinner, then you have 2,000 calories to work with, which is pretty generous. So, just some small steps of what to do earlier in the day can go a very long way. Now, some other things that are really helpful to do is, let's say you've got other holiday parties you're going to in between, or there's temptation to buy a lot of the, holiday food type things. Pick a couple that you really enjoy and say no to the rest. You don't have to skip everything, but you also don't have to indulge in everything either. So kind of pick the happy medium, If there's a few things that you just really love around this time, then go for it. Grab those. And then skip the others that are good, but you're maybe just not obsessed with. Now, whatever you're going to get together, and it's kind of an all-day affair, and there's going to be just food everywhere all day long, and you're worried about grazing and snacking throughout the day in addition to all the meals. Take a water bottle with you, whether it's, one you buy or if it's one you refill, and keep it in your hand at all times. And the reason for that is the more water you drink, the less hungry you are going to be, the less likely you are going to be to graze and to snack constantly, because you can take a sip of water every time you get hungry. You can take a sip of water every time you want to reach for that snack. And let's be honest, when we're grazing, a lot of times we're not really hungry. It's just more a habit thing of, oh, there's food there, there's a candy bowl there, there's a whatever, I'm going to grab a handful. And so it's not even necessarily that we're hungry or craving those things, it's just, it's readily available, and so why not? And so when we have, a bottle of water or something to sip on, it often can stem that, because we, instead of grabbing a handful, we can take a sip of water and kind of just satisfy that I'm drinking something, or maybe make some hot tea or some coffee or something to keep in your hand to feel like you're partaking in something without necessarily consuming calories. Now, when it actually comes down to the meal, here's how I suggest doing it. Rather than just completely overloading your plate to where you don't know if you're going to make it back to the table without it spilling, pick the top 4 things that you just absolutely love. That's right, the 4 things you just absolutely love that there's no way on earth you would miss them. And give yourself a portion of those. Once that's done, then give yourself 20 minutes. Don't just immediately jump up and go back for seconds. Give yourself 15 to 20 minutes to let that food start to digest a little bit. And what you're going to find is oftentimes you won't then want to go back for more. Because that food is digested, you realize, holy crap, I'm so full already. And that can really help. So don't just jump up for seconds. Don't just automatically reach for the bowl as soon as your plate is empty. Give yourself 15 minutes. Sip on some water. Let that food digest a little bit. And you're going to find that there's not a desire or a need to necessarily go back for more. And then, of course, there's the dessert table. And we're not going to skip the dessert table, right? So again, rather than grabbing one of everything, because it probably all does look good, pick 1 or 2 of your absolute favorites. These are it for me. And give yourself a smaller portion. You don't have to, again, load up your plate with a piece of pie the size of little Jimmy's head. You know what I'm saying? Get a piece of one, get a piece of the other, enjoy it. And again, give yourself some time after you eat it. Have a cup of coffee afterwards, have some water. You're going to find that you're satisfied. And you don't feel sick, because how many times do you overindulge and then you're sitting there and you literally feel like if somebody sticks a pin in you, you'll explode? Like, I've been there, I've done that, I'm guilty of it. And so when we allow ourselves time, when we sit back and really just allow our bodies to do its natural process of digestion, then we come to terms with, hey, you know what? I'm okay. I really enjoyed that. I don't feel sick. I don't feel bloated, but I still enjoyed what I wanted to eat. So the biggest thing I just want to encourage you is think about what you're doing ahead of time, because it's very easy just to go in without a plan, and that is usually disastrous, regardless of what we're doing, whether it's eating around the holidays, whether it's making life decisions. Like, going in without a plan is never a good idea. Now, are there times when planning can become excessive? Absolutely, but not in this case. So just make a few plans, kind of plan out what your approach is, what your plan of action is, and then go in and enjoy the day and don't overthink it. So often we'll plague ourselves with guilt, with, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I ruined it. Oh, no, you enjoyed a day. Like, so what? The next day, get back on things. It's not going to undo your entire life's worth of work one day. You know what I'm saying? So keep it in perspective, enjoy yourself, have some fun, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you all have an amazing week. Spend some time really reflecting. I know it's been a crazy year, but find things that you can be thankful for this year, because we all have them. We really do. With that being said, remember, no matter what anybody has told you, what things have crossed your path, what things have tried to literally kick you in the ass this year, you can overcome anything you set your mind to. You've got this.